Good morning, Miguil. Here's your machine, the Breville Barista Express BES870. As you saw in the photos, it's in fantastic condition, especially on the outside. There's not a lot of scratches or dents on this unit. Obviously it's used, so it does have some scratches around the front, a bit of sort of staining on here, but very, very good. And on the inside, I actually haven't had to do any repairs. It was fully functional, no issues there. So I just did the cleaning and the service, the general service that I usually do. And yeah, the machine ticks like new. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use it. So I guess we can start by the accessories. The machine comes with pretty much everything that you get when you get the machine brand new. You've got a cleaning kit. This has a cleaning disc, a few tablets to do the cleaning cycle, an Allen key to change the rubber seal here. You have to do that every 2 years, and like a pen for the milk wand and brush, but I couldn't find those. It also comes with a razor tool. This is sort of a tool for beginners, so if you're not sure how much coffee to put in the handle for the machine, you put more than you need. You press it with the tamper and then you scrape off the excess. I personally don't like to use it just because it disrupts the surface of the coffee and it's a bit wasteful. So I'll teach you how to set up the machine correctly without having to use this tool. But you can, it doesn't hurt really if you do. Also comes with all the baskets. So if you're wondering what the difference between them is, so the ones on the left are called single wall. They're obviously made with a single layer of metal. That's what makes them single wall. And they're a bit more intermediate in terms of the skill required to make the coffee. So you have to get the correct grind size, correct amount of coffee, and you have to be using, you got to be using fresh beans, or at least close enough. Because if you're using, let's say, beans that are very old, the coffee will be watery. If you're using too little coffee in the handle, the coffee will be watery. And if your grind size is too large, the coffee will be watery. So you have to get things right to get a good coffee with these. Shouldn't be too hard. It shouldn't be too hard. I'll set up the machine to use the double shot single wall basket. This is the standard one they actually use in the cafes, and the standard one I would use. If you're really struggling, you can use the dual wall baskets. These ones are easier to use, you can say, because they're made with 2 layers. They force all the water through that single hole underneath, and they pressurize the basket. They create pressure even if there's suboptimal beans or the grind size is not exactly correct, but they won't taste as good, and the crema won't be as authentic with these. So if you want a proper espresso, try to use the single wall. But if you're in a hurry or you can't be bothered, you want your family to also get a good coffee or a decent coffee, try this the dual wall baskets. They say here to use with pre-ground coffee. So if you buy your beans by accident as pre-ground, you can use these. Or if you get decaf coffee from the shops, usually it's also pre-ground. You can scoop it in here. Alright, enough about that. Let's and also the milk jug, obviously. We'll be making a latte, so I'll be using this milk jug for the video. When you first turn on the machine, it'll take about a minute to reach temperature. I've already turned it on before, so it should be ready to go. So within a minute, the machine is at 93 degrees for the boiler, but that doesn't mean it's going to make a hot cup of coffee. So for best results, Breville recommends you warm up the machine. So you can either warm it up by, letting it stay on for 20 minutes. In the 20 minutes, obviously the internals will be nice and warm, more than when you first turn it on. Plus you can put your cup on top and it'll get slightly warm. Your portafilter handle here will passively also get warm from the boiler, so you want those to be warm before you make the coffee. What I do, and you can do this if you're in a hurry, just run a blank shot. So a blank shot means no coffee in the handle. Just put on the portafilter, put your cup underneath, and press like the double button. That's going to run hot water through the system into the handle, into the cup. And that's going to warm things up pretty quickly. So you can do that once or twice. I mean, you can still use the machine without doing the blank shot. You may or may not notice a difference between the taste with or without, but I would recommend it, at least one, just to get things slightly up to temperature. And it also cleans this process, or this step cleans the handle and the shower screen. So if you've got any lingering coffee grounds or oils from the coffee, this will clear them up right away. Just getting my milk ready. Yeah, so you put that out of the way. Let's put it here. Next, you want to grind the coffee. So I've added some beans. Nothing too fancy at the moment, but it's recommended that you try different beans and settle with something that gives you a good coffee. You may not like all the brands or all the roast levels. I'm using a medium roast now. The minimum that I would recommend is the Aldi brand for coffee beans, because they roast them here in Melbourne, so they're pretty fresh. Most other brands are pretty stale and hard to get good coffees from. The best case scenario is to buy them freshly roasted from a local roaster, but you may have to weigh that up, considering the price is like 3 times of what I pay at Aldi. So maybe you can start learning on the cheap ones, and then when you're feeling fancy, you can go to the expensive ones. Alright, so portafilter is nice and warm now. I've dried it with a tissue. Look, I'm going to use a scale to measure the coffee going in and the amount of coffee going out, but you don't have to. It is recommended for consistency and also to troubleshoot. If you're not getting a good coffee, you have to look at what's going in, what's coming out. But yeah, I'll teach you how to use the machine even without a shot, even without a scale. So this basket here is the double. Like I said, this one takes 18 grams of coffee. So yeah, I've got the grind size correctly, or roughly in the right ballpark at number 4. So I'm going to use grind size number 4. The smaller the number, the finer the particles, the slower the flow. So if you increase the grind size to from a 4 to a 10, the coffee will flow just right through because the particles are larger and there's not enough pressure created. If you decrease it all the way to 1, it might block, it might be so fine that it blocks the water flow, and you won't be getting much coffee at all. And you'll see the pressure gauge skyrocket. So it's sort of like a balance, but it shouldn't be too hard. I'll set it up for you before you pick it up. So now we'll make a coffee on number 4. We'll see how we go. Okay, reset my scale and put the grind amount on 1. So the grind size on number 4, the grind amount at 12 o'clock, and the filter size at single. You can put it on double, and that'll pretty much grind double the amount. I personally like to keep it on single just because it wastes less coffee and it doesn't spill around. So if you do it in 2 steps, it'd be less messy. Alright, let's see how that went. That is 8.4 grams, so not too bad. I'm going to put it on 1 o'clock and see how we go with that. I was aiming for 9 grams, because 9 times 2 is 18. This is an 18 gram basket. If you click it once, it'll grind for this long, but if you hold it, it'll grind for as long as you hold it. So I'm just topping it up to 9 grams. Yeah, that's 9 grams. So after you get the first dose, press it just like that, just really quickly, lightly. Alright, that's my second dose, looking good. That's exactly 18 grams, I kid you not. So yeah, keep it at around the 1 o'clock position on the grind amount, and at grind size number 4, and get about 9 grams per click. If you're really, overwhelmed by this, just put it on a very large amount, like all the way to the end, and press it down, and then use the scraper to scrape off the excess. That'll work. But this is how I do the coffee, so feel free to take whatever approach you want. Alright, so before you press it down with the tamper now, you want to spread it around, so you can spread it with your fingers or your palm or whatever, and then grab the tamper, press it nice and firm. You can put it on the bench, press it that way. But yeah, make sure it's even and it's not wonky to one side. And this is what it looks like. Because you'll notice that the tamper goes this deep. So Breville put this silver part on the tamper sort of as a guide. So you know you have the correct amount of coffee if you go to press the coffee down and the tamper stops at this line. So we have 18 grams. We know we have the correct dose in there. And yeah, that's the depth that the tamper goes to. If the tamper sits all the way up and it doesn't go any deeper, then that's too much coffee. You want to scrape the excess. And conversely, if it goes really deep into the handle, then that's too little coffee. So yeah, you want to get it right. And yeah, you don't have to be to the millimeter. Same with the input. You don't have to be exactly correct at 18 grams. You can put 18.2, you can put 17 or 17 and a half. As long as it's roughly in the ballpark, I think you'll get a good coffee. But this is what it should look like. Lock it in. You don't have to lock it in all the way to the right. The rubber seal on there is still pretty fresh, so it still will hold pressure even in the middle. So you don't have to over tighten. So just keep it in the middle. I'm gonna get rid of the hot water. You also have a hot water tap here. So you can use that for making a long black coffee. So you add the espresso shot, then add hot water. That'll give you a long black. Tea bags, etc. Or just to warm up your cup. I use it to add a little bit of hot water to my cup, just to add, to help dissolve the sugar. I add sugar to my coffee. So I think that's pretty handy. Alright. Okay, we've ground the coffee, we've put on the handle. Now we're pretty much ready to make the espresso part of the latte. Second part would be the milk. Now I'm going to use the scale to measure the output. So in terms of the output, we want to double what we put in. So we put in 18 grams, we want to get 36 grams out. That's sort of the basic recipe for espresso. Hopefully that should happen within 20 to 30 seconds. So I'm going to make the coffee if we get the 36 grams of the shot, so about this much, in 20 to 30 seconds, I would call that a good shot. If it happens in 10 seconds or 5 seconds, then that's way too quick, and that means our grind size is too large and we need to make it finer. And if the shot takes a minute to come out, then that's way too fine, and we need to increase the grind size to help it flow quicker. So yeah, again, you don't have to follow the seconds to the dot, you don't have to follow the grams to the dot. If I get more than 36, like 40, or if I get 32, I think that still would be a decent shot. But it's just a rough guide that you want to follow. And again, if you don't want to use the scale, you can just visually learn what 40 milliliters looks like. On this espresso cup, it's about this much. Half of this mug is about, half of this glass is about 40 grams. So visually this is a shot, and in a bigger cup it would be about this much. I'm going to reset my scale. Let's make the coffee. Also, not to add one more level of complexity, but yeah, your machine is programmable. You can change the length that it gives you. So you don't have to really worry about the amount. You just have to worry about the time it takes, if that makes sense. So one way to think about coffee is X amount in 30 seconds, or X grams, or X seconds for 36 grams. Two ways of thinking about it. This machine will give you water volume automatically, so it'll stop at around 35 or 40 grams if you program it, which I will do now. From factory, it comes pretty long, too long for my preference. So if you press the double, it'll give you close to 60 grams of coffee, which is too much for a double shot. I was gonna aim for 40 in this video. I will aim for 40 in this video. And to reset the factory settings, you can just hold the program button. If you want to program the buttons to your liking, you can do it really easily. So first you want to do what I did, grind the coffee, press it down, lock it in, and then with your cup underneath, press program, and then press the button you want to program, and the machine will start making coffee. Press it again when you're happy with the volume, and it'll remember pretty much that amount every single time. I'm also going to time the shot, just for reference. Keep an eye on the flow, on the pressure. You want the pressure to be in the grey zone, that's optimal for espresso. And you want the flow to be nice and smooth and symmetrical. So we've got about 12 o'clock of pressure, not too bad. And I'll stop it there. That's 20 seconds, so a little bit too quick, and we may have gotten a bit too much coffee. What I would do next is I would make another coffee on grind size number 3. Yeah, you can put it on number 3 and see how you go. But yeah, that was 20 seconds. We got, oh, actually, sorry, not too much coffee. We got 35 grams. So very close to what we were hoping for. I was hoping for 36. 35 was pretty damn close. It just took a bit too little time. So it was 20 seconds. Doesn't mean that it's a bad shot. I mean, taste is all that matters. So all the numbers can go out of the window if the taste is good. But yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Alright, I'll keep it there. Keep the settings. Keep the grind size number 4. Keep this at 1 o'clock. And use the double button for the double shot. You'll get a good coffee. I assure you. Alright, next. Quickly clean it up. Just flip it, it'll fall right away. You also want to rinse. You may want to get a knockbox. It's like a bin that you put next to the coffee machine just to knock the coffee. I don't have any spares, unfortunately, but yeah, it's like $10 on eBay. After rinsing it, you want to dry. Oh, you don't have to dry, but it's good to wipe the group head or the seal every few days, just for good measure. There's always going to be a bit of coffee grounds accumulating and oils and things like that. So if you've got the time, just grab a tissue and wipe it. Your machine will thank you. And then lock it in. You don't have to lock it in hard if you're not making a coffee, you know. So just slightly. Alright, let's not let the coffee sit for too long. Let's steam the milk. So, being a single boiler machine, you have to wait for the milk steam to come out. It's not instant like the big expensive machines. So turn it on, give it about 10-15 seconds and it'll start giving you steam. Have your milk jug ready with milk, so about halfway filled with cold full cream milk. The technique is one of the things you'll have to learn, but in essence, you just try to keep the wand close to the surface of the milk, the tip, and keep spinning it. So I'm going to turn it off, position the jug, turn it back on. So keep the tip close to the surface so that you can inject air into the milk and make it creamy. And keep it spinning. So like a vortex. The noise it should make is almost like a paper tearing sound, so it's like a hiss. You wanna keep that position for about 20 seconds. And then after the 20 seconds, you want to raise the jug. Now I'm just warming up the milk. I'm no longer injecting air. If you hold that position of being close to the surface for too long, your milk will become very frothy and almost dry. So you don't want it to be too bubbly. And then I turn it off when it's too hot to the touch, which is about, I don't know, 50, 60 degrees Celsius. Give it a purge before it cools down. Give it a purge to let out steam through the wand to clear any milk. And after 5 seconds, the machine will auto purge, auto cool itself. There we go. Obviously, we want to clean the wand, so grab a wet towel and wipe it straight away. Obviously, the wand gets really hot, so the milk will sort of bake on the metal, and it'll be a pain in the butt to clean in the future. So just, yeah, sooner the better. You want to build those good habits early on. That is the espresso done, and sorry, that's the latte pretty much done. I'm just gonna pour the milk. So before you pour, actually, you want to knock the jug on the counter to break any big air bubbles, and then swirl it around to mix it up. Do this 2 or 3 times until the surface is nice and smooth. It should look like wet paint or melted ice cream. Let me show you what it looks like actually. It's better to see with the reflection. Maybe a bit too thick now, so we may get a cappuccino actually. But yeah, you can, with a bit of skill, you can get good latte art actually. Not me though, I'm not very skilled. Yeah, it's time to pour. We've got a very weirdly shaped heart for you. But yeah, I don't really care for the design. I try, but I don't. I'm not upset with bad design. All that matters is the taste, of course. So we've got a very thick foam there. Looks very, very good. Definitely looking forward to having this. And yeah, I'm sure most people can do. You can do better. You can do better latte art than me. Even though I've been doing it for a long time, I just don't aim for latte art. I just aim for a good coffee. And on the Barista Express, almost always get that. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Please don't hesitate if you have any issues or concerns or questions. And I will see you very soon. Thanks.